Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. And this is Huy coming back to you with another awesome episode from the Cash Flow Addict. I believe that cash flow is a good addition. It's a fundamental of investing. It's really a fundamental of everything that you do, money related, right? If you have positive cash flow, it's just gonna solve so much problem in your life actually. But yeah, I'm super excited to bring you back this episode because we just got back from eXpcon. So if for those of you don't know, I'm proudly associated with eXp Realty. I'm proudly a four-time icon agent and now one of the better leader in the company. And eXp as a company, we have two major events, right? We have eXpcon, which is somewhere around October, November timeframe, and then we have shareholder conference, which is open to everybody. If you own a share of EXPI, you are invited to the shareholder conference next year. But yeah, eXpcon is more agent related, more agent focused instead of shareholder focused. We get together, we party, we have fun, but most importantly, we make connection, we build relationship, we build family. We learn a lot for the past couple of months, and for the past week actually. The everything is just compressed in that short 3-4 day when you are at the conference. But yeah, I have a chance to connect with so many people, and most importantly, right? Congratulations, my sponsor and my mentor, Jeff and Amanda Weisbeer, on becoming the number one team in the world. But yeah, so as a number one team in the world, they have a lot to share. So make sure you tune up your, if you're driving, to dial up your volume and listen up, right? Because the stuff that we're gonna share here is absolutely, if you can just pick up a few nuggets from it, especially from Jeff and Amanda, the number one team in the world, you will implement that in your business, and it's gonna have a very monumental impact on your business. So without further ado, I'm gonna give you a recording of the last week conference that we did at the Canon in Houston, and enjoy. And looking forward to see you on the next episode. All right, thank you. And this is Huy from the Cash Flow Addict. I'm signing out. How do I start this, right? I believe my first eXpcon go 2017. That was just me, Amanda, and Jeff, right? Three of us. We don't know what we are doing, and look at us now, right? We have a room full of people. I just broke 200 in my group, last week. And thinking of helping Jeff and Amanda get to 1,000 agents, right? So I really want to bring the best of the event. An event, it's just a shortcut of your learning curve, right? If there's really a shortcut in life or shortcut in your career, it's event. And EXP event is one of, in my personal opinion, the best event, the best real estate event that you can go to. Yeah. So whatever we learned last week, me, Khai, Jeff and Amanda, we're gonna try our best, to share our experience, right? To relieve like I see right here on the picture right here, we get to reveal this moment to Christina iPhone. Yeah. Android. Bye, Android. Yeah. But yeah, Kai, you have anything to add?
No, everyone ready to learn here today, right? Can I have everyone stand up and get some energy going?
No.
There we go. Let's do it. All right. 10 push-ups, everyone. No. Okay, just please give a big high five to the person next to you. Kudos to be here today. All right. Are everyone part of Team Legacy here by any chance? Anyone not Team Legacy here?
Nobody's listening.
No?
$100. Save nobody.
Okay. Anyone not Team Legacy here?
Get out.
Yay. You are welcome to be one of us today. All right, so I guess we can get started. Everyone's energy through.
Well, speaking of the energy, right? I do want to start, with the big news, of the entire event. So Jeff and Amanda, congratulations on becoming the number one team in the United States.
In the world.
In the world.
Yeah.
So Jeff, help me out. You know, you are the number one team in the world. You have so much stuff that you need to do. Why do you spend your time, you know, like a week, you know, go to event in Vegas?
Yeah.
You don't have much to learn, right? You are the number one team in the world. Why do you go to the event? Tell us.
Yeah. Well, one was in Vegas, so that was pretty cool. But no, seriously, like we knew we had a good year, but we didn't know we did that well. So that's really nice to get that recognition and use it. But I'll tell you guys, like I told Amanda, sure, we're the number one team. I'll ride that for a year, but I don't want to be the number one team again, because what you don't see on the back end is 724 transactions, like all this kind of stuff. And you know, that's fun while it's there if you have these investors and these builders and all this kind of thing. But my goal is to help each and every one of you kind of grow your passive income. So indirectly or directly, I'm growing mine. So I don't really have to do that is my goal. But you know, that's for me. But I go to the events. One, I've always went to all the events. I was at Keller Williams like 6-8 years, went to all the Keller Williams family reunions. Like it's just like you can answer that. I went to all the family reunions. I go to all the eXpcons. Brent Gove has a bunch of events. I go to all those. It's the same reason I go to church every Sunday, right? It's just to get rejuvenated, reestablished to everything out there. So, and everyone has a different business than everyone else. I think I was telling this about Tal's business. She did, I think, almost 100 million or something like that.
Yeah, triple diamond. Yeah, we're gonna talk about triple diamond.
Yeah, but she did that, and she doesn't have one of my clients, and I don't have one of her clients. So we all do stuff differently. So that's why I go to those events, just to kind of brain pick. And there's always nuggets that we get from those events. So one, it was in Vegas, and I'm not going to miss that. And then two, just to kind of get some, rejuvenation in your business. So
yeah, and same thing with that, right? So talking about triple diamond. So by the way, triple diamond is the highest award that you can get when it comes to EXP. This is for team with GCI over $1 million, right? So we have in this table with us, Jeff, Amanda, triple diamond, and also Khai, also another triple diamond. Look at that. Well, so Khai, of course, everybody knows Jeff and Amanda. They've been in business for a while, but I was super impressed with you because you start EXP as as fast as the same time as I have. So walk us through the path on maybe we can expand on it later, but what is it that drive you in a short 5 years to achieve this highest production in production?
I would say I would not be able to achieve what I have today by myself, because a while back a wise man told me that if you want to go somewhere fast, you go by yourself, but if you want to go far, you want to go together, right? And I'm lucky enough to meet people like Jeff, Amanda, and Huy along the way, that we were able to inspire and motivate each other and learn from each other. And I think that because of that, and that's why even with how busy we are with the past year, I still have to cap out some time and go to the convention last week, because I know that, there's so many more things that I don't know. And how much, maybe I can get to the same spot I have been, but maybe I can do it a little bit better, faster, or more efficient. And I'm open to learning. And which I did learn. Last week was awesome. There's so many things that I can implement and change in my business starting this week. And I already did. And I'm glad, right? And because of that, I think that, but it's one thing that I also realize is it's not an overnight success. Mm-hmm. No, if anyone can promise you that real estate easy, well, it's not. and I think that, but however, if you determine and if you have a plan, you can make it happen. And I'm glad that, whenever if I come into a challenge issue, I can reach out to anyone in Team Legacy and ask for help, and I'll receive. And that was awesome.
Yeah, and I really like what Jeff said. We have a lot of triple diamond in Team Legacy organization. No one overlap each other business, right? It's just completely different, right? And yet, every single team that sit here, grows over $1 million GCI. Yeah. So Amanda, I want to hear a real answer from you, because I know Jeff talk all the time, right? He doesn't do real work. So Amanda, what is that you do to take your team, to gross $1 million GCI? Give us a more detailed answer.
I love it. It's so funny. We were in Vegas and everyone's like, "You're number one in the world." And I'm like, "Don't tell him that. He has to go home and take out the trash." I need him to cushion, so don't pretend too big. It's fit in the airplane. I think systems. I know people are like, okay, I've heard that a million times, but really, like, I just read a book. It was written by an EXP agent. It's $5 on Amazon, and it's called the Rockstar Guide to Building a Real Estate Team. And they made it so simple. I think we try to overcomplicate things and go, oh, I need all these different people, and I need all these different legions, and all these different things, and all it is write down what you do every single day, like your 15, 20 things, and really detail them out and see if that's the best use of your time or who else can do it. And so I think we've been really great at finding leverage and going, you're going to be amazing at opening the doors. You're going to be awesome at, doing our paperwork. And sometimes the things that require the most amount of time require the least amount of talent. And so just finding out who's passionate about what and who's good at what, because we're all so different and we're all talented in different ways, collaborating to make way more than we ever competing.
Yeah. So there's so many different ways that you can become a successful, that you can have a successful real estate career at EXP, right? So don't let this, I hope you get inspired by this team that's sitting right here talking to you. But if you get intimidated, don't, right? Just look at me, right? I don't have any team. I'm still a solo agent. It's just me and one of my assistants. But yet, year over year, we still able to make icon agent, right? So as of this month, I'm qualified as 4-time icon agent. Thank you. And just to demonstrate the fact that, there's many ways for you to build your business, in this huge, collaborative and super, flexible platform, right? You can build a team, you can be a solo agent, you can focus on rev share, there's like a million things you can do, but the best way for you to learn about the platform, about EXP, is by going to the event, right? When you go to the event, you met so many people, success at so many different levels, so many different ways. You're gonna find a niche that, the one thing that you need to take away, you go home and you implement that one thing, right? And that one thing is gonna change your business. Yeah. So
I love that. So y'all were talking about like just getting in the room, right? And condensing
exactly
time.
That one.
And there's something that he said was I wrote it down, but it was like proximity is power, right? And so just by you being in the room or going to the events and learning from other people, what I have found is when we all talk about our businesses, we all do something completely different. And we all have these like self-limiting beliefs of, oh, I can't do that, or that's for these people, or only you could do that because you're, do hedge funds or whatever it is. And what I found is, have you guys ever in life had like a friend or a mentor or coach that's seen something in you that you just didn't see in yourself? You're like, oh, I guess I am good at that, or I guess I am a connector, or I guess I am really patient or an educator. I think the more times you're around other people, not only do you learn tips and tricks and ideas, but you get empowered and you kind of get this outsider's vision of who you are and what you're good at. And for me, that's every single time we go to an event, we learn and just kind of boost our ego a little bit. So proximity is power, and that's just a faster way to make money fast. Who wants to make money fast? Right? Right?
You can build faster, you can build slow. Yeah.
That's money, baby.
Yeah. So Jeff, I know that you don't sell, and Khai also, chime in on this. I know you guys don't sell, hundreds of homes by accident, right? There must be some kind of system and leverage, especially tool within our EXP enterprise that you leverage. So tell us a little bit, what is a tool, the system, maybe your day-to-day, what is it that you learn inside EXP to help you blow up your business?
I think the biggest thing that we did maybe 3 years ago was do our expansion teams, because you can make a team here in Houston where you're at. That's pretty easy. If you find a leader like in Dallas, another booming market, you can say, hey, you ever thought about opening up like an expansion team, or you ever thought about owning your own team? They're like, oh, I could never do that. I'll say, well, I have everything that you need. I just need you to, take the reins, if you will. And then the ability to KB Core, you can just drive leads to their KB Core site. They can jump in all of our trainings and kind of get scripted. That's another thing is I think my foundation of my business is pretty solid with scripts and processes and systems. There's really not anything a buyer or seller or really investor could say to me that I don't have immediate response to, just because I spent so many years on the phones talking to all kinds of people, going to these events. But then we opened up Dallas first, and then we saw a need to open up Austin. So we did the same thing. We have Mike and Fabiola in San Antonio. We have Joe English down in Corpus Christi, like all these other people. And, I'm just doing the same thing I'm doing in Houston. I'm just kind of pouring into them, and they're the ones doing it. I do drive leads to their KB Core sites and things like that, but they're the one implementing the processes and scripts, and it's up to them who they hire, if they want a buyer's agent or whatever. But you know, with if you have a listing presentation that's kind of proven, sure, you can teach, you know, 4 or 5 people around you. But the biggest thing I think that jumped us with those transaction numbers, because it felt like 2 years ago, maybe 2 years ago, we sold like 300 homes. And then last year it was like 500 and now 700. Like, and that, I think that was the biggest thing, is open up all those other markets. Because you're with EXP, if you're not, and you don't know, that EXP is kind of borderless, there's no franchises. So, and that goes for Houston, is an hour from Houston, right? So you can have a team in Houston, like inside the loop. You can have a team up where you live. You can have a team over here. And all these teams in one low cap, and you can kind of multiply yourself. And if you have, you know, we have, let's say 15 agents, 17, 16, almost 20 agents, no, 15 agents actually, and they all sell a couple of houses a month. That's all of a sudden 30, 40 homes a year times 12 is all of a sudden 500, 600 deals. It's not, don't focus on the 700 we sold, focus on every agent closing 1 or 2 deals a month. And then you have those rock star agents like Gabe, who comes in on the team and just starts closing 30, 40 a year, like right off the rip. And then what that does is all the other agents, shit, man, how's he doing that? Like, he's doing everything we're telling him to do. You should do that. Like, so it's really, it is a big accomplishment. We're proud of that, but it's not too difficult if you open up your vision, if you will, like open up Texas. I'm almost licensed in Nashville, Tennessee. I want to go into Florida, like, because why not? You're with EXP. There's one cap in whatever state you're licensed in, so why not do that, right? So I think that's the biggest thing that jumped us up.
So I want to slow down that, because we kind of skip to it, you know, but this is so important, this expansion team, right? It sounds easy, but if you have another brokerage, there's no way that they can do what we do, right? It's just not,
there'll be a separate cap and a separate franchise.
Exactly. So Amanda, can kind of walk us through, you know, like the detail of the expansion team. How do you set it up? So let's say if John, you know, or Lynn, if they want to do the same thing, would you be able to help us?
Yeah, so we already have all the systems in place, and we can teach you. I think the biggest thing, and you already have an amazing team, so you have your systems in place, is I think most realtors are just kind of blowing and going, you know, like, oh, I sold a house, I got fired that day, and I have to start back over. And you're only, even though you're here and you have residual income options, you're only as good as your last 30 days. You don't have a whole lead generation system and a game plan and a simple, repeatable process for everything. But once you build out a simple, repeatable process, like Jeff was talking about scripts, the reason we know exactly how that conversation is going to go is because we've done it over and over and over and over. And so we can totally sit down and do that. But the hardest thing is finding your leader in every area. So you'll find a leader in that one area, and you'll, just like recruiting, right? You find your leaders and you teach them what you did, and then they go off and they find their leaders and vice versa. So finding the leader in that one area and really pouring into them, and then starting to support them with their support team. And it's just copy and paste. You can do it as many times as you want.
Wow, really good. Khai, I'm going to let you expand on the KV Core a little bit, because Jeff mentioned KV Core. And then I'm going to tie everything together, because I know KV Core and expansion team, they kind of go hand in hand. So Khai, you know, Jeff and Amanda, they mentioned a really powerful system that we all have access to. It's called KV Core. So explain to us, how are you able to leverage KV Core to scale up your team, basically from a one-man show from the moment I met you to a team of, how big is your team now?
14 people.
14 people using KV Core. So, you know, show us what is KV Core, does it work?
Who use KV Core in here? Okay, almost 67.
It's not that scary, I promise. You don't have to be techie.
Yes, starting out from the beginning, right? With EXP almost 5 years now. And I think that early on, I learned, someone once told me that there's no such thing as a perfect CRM. The best CRM is the one that you actually use. So, and it just happened that we being with EXP, we have one of the top CRM in the nation, KV Core, right? It costs a lot of money for any brokerages out there to even get a license for each individual person in their team. And in EXP, we kind of get it given to us. So a lot of time we may not have utilized it to the full. And so my early years as an individual agent, my first 2 years I was individual agent, and I started leading the sales team on my 3rd year. But so, and I switching from individual KV Core account to the team KV Core account. But long story short, because I spent quite a lot of time at the beginning to learn KV Core, I'm able to utilize it for many different functions, like automatic setting, campaign follow-up, and all of that. And because I know it well inside out, whenever time we have a new agent joining, if they have a question, I tend to be able to support them, or at least point them to the right resource that can maybe train them to use it. And I think that a lot of times if we don't use what we have, we may not be able to leverage and grow. Because in this business, everyone here is a business owner. And time is a very valuable resource, I believe. And KV Core will be able to help you condense a lot of those stuff. And I think that a part of how we manage the team is we're using KV Core team to help with the agent on the team. And I have to say, you know, the success that we have, we achieve it together as a team. Like there's a few rock stars on the team now. There's Boo, there's Christina, and they're hitting it every day. And KV Core was a part of what actually helped us manage and see everything together. Funny thing, a big part of that is, I actually learned it from Jeff. He actually a KV Core master. So I am able to attend a few of his class, and he actually have a recording on training on KV Core on the City Side Property YouTube channels. So if you guys are not following his City Side Property YouTube channel, you should. And one of the things that I learned,
I have tens and tens of subscribers,
right? And you're blocking new ones soon, right? Yeah. But two of the functions I learned to quite like over time. One is squeeze page, and I think I learned it from you too. And the second one is smart number, short text, right?
Yeah.
You can fully customize a lot of different text to your number in KV4. And that will funnel anyone who interact with that text to your database. And that's your database to work on. And database go in real estate. So if you have not utilized it, I suggest you learn how. Learn this YouTube video.
Well, actually, everybody have a pen that says CGB Realty Group on your table right now.
Oh yeah, we can test that too.
Yeah. So actually, if you have that pen, on that pen is actually a smart number, KV Core number. So if you text,
let me see.
eXpcon.
Good one, yeah. eXpcon 2022.
Yeah. So if you text eXpcon 2022 to that number on the pen, you will get a link back with all the recording of the full EXP.
EXP convention last week. EXP released that video this week for anyone who missed it.
And we just set it up. It really takes you like 5 minutes before this meeting to set up.
Easy, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one of the powerful feature of KV4. You know, that everybody here as an EXP agent, we can go ahead and leverage. And we're gonna go ahead and tie that, you know, with your expansion team, because I know you are using KV Core to drive lead to your expansion team. So tell us more about that.
Yeah, so I did KV Core teams because you can automatic lead route. You can set it up where it automatic lead routes leads to certain agents. And then in addition to the automatic lead routing, it has an automated accountability attached with it. So once you set all that kind of stuff up, and then all my job as a team leader is to drive leads to it, and then it'll hold them accountable. Like there's one thing in San Antonio, if they don't call and reach out to the lead 9 times within the first 3 days, lead gets removed, the lead gets put into a pond, and then a more responsive agent can grab that lead out of there, and they know that, so they do that. Another one is if 70% of their follow-ups, 30% of their follow-ups are past due, the lead rotation will turn off until they get past that 70% mark, where they get close to 90, 100% of their follow-ups being due. That means they're all caught up. That means they can start getting leads again. Like all that stuff that's why I did that. But KV Core allows you, I would say 6-8 months ago, they allow you to basically tie in any local MLS into one KV Core team site, which is really neat. So I can, in Houston, drive leads to San Antonio. I can drive leads to Dallas. I can drive leads to Austin. And when I get an agent out in Nashville, I can tie their NMLS into my KV Core, and I can start driving leads in Nashville. So that's the biggest thing that I use KV Core teams for is, just providing leads, everywhere. So is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. That's perfect. And I'm sure that, you mentioned, finding the leader in the team. And I just happened to sit on your Zoom this morning. You're actually really good at hiring, and focusing on finding right people. So tell everybody a little bit, especially Amanda, you're really good with personality tests. Tell us a little bit, on how to find the perfect people into your life, basically.
I think everyone's good at different things. Who all knows your DISC personality test? Anybody? I know the KW folks, we all had to like learn it forever. So everyone's good at different things. They're all passionate. They all have different it's DISC. So D is like a driver, right? They're like, we're gonna get stuff done. I don't care if you do it or you do it. I don't care about the details. Just knock it out. And I is more of the influencers. So we're also drivers, but we're going to care about your feelings along the way. We want you to like us. And we're going to talk about all the details, right? And so as you kind of start to follow these personality types, you can go, okay, well, an S is really stable. They love systems. And a C is really compliant. They're the rule followers. They're the spreadsheet folks. They're, you know, kind of like the engineer mindset folks. And so we use that when we're hiring people. So we'll go, okay, Jeff's on the DISC scale, on the D, he's a 99 out of 100. So he wants everything done and he doesn't care who does it, right? I'm a really high I. I could imagine you're probably an I. We want you to like us. We're going to be your friends along the way. We want to talk about it. We're going to send you text about it. Like our emails are this long and Jeff's email is half of the sentence, right? And so as you are either building your residual income and you're recruiting people, or even as you're working with clients, you'll immediately get to pick out, oh, I know their personality type. They want quick and to the point. They want to know what I'm going to sell it for and why. And a high I is going to know all the fluff and all the frou-frou and all the details. Same thing with the S and the C. Those are the back end analytical people. They're going to love your paperwork. They're not going to want to be in front of people all day long. So if you hire a really high I to sit there and be a paper pusher, we're going to want to escape the office and go to a happy hour, right? And so knowing how to talk to your clients and how to recruit, personality types are so important. So if you don't have yours, Tony Robbins is a free one that's really awesome. Do one just so you can kind of get an idea of how it works.
So what would be an ideal, buyer agent personality type?
Someone that is not a really high D. D's are more for sellers. It's more, for me anyway, sellers that you go in there to an overpriced listing, someone that is like an SC or something, and that seller is a D. Most of the time, that seller is just going to steamroll them, and they're going to price it the way that seller wants to price it. Whereas me, or someone like me that is just wired the way I am, we're kind of going to butt heads. And most of the times they actually end up appreciating that, because same thing with me. If I think I'm right and I'm just going at you and then you say something, I was like, God, I missed that. I'm okay with saying, okay, you're right on that. So I think a high I and D is a good listing agent for me. And then a high like I, S, and C would be a good buyer's agent. But just like Amanda was saying, so that's why we like to test all of our agents and then test our staff, because we don't want someone that is wired to be out and about, running around, kind of doing their own thing. We don't want them stuck behind a desk, because that means we messed up. We put them in a position of they're going to fail. And it's not them. It's just, how God created them. So now the DISC analysis has the adaptive side as well. So if you study the DISC, how you basically act around people, some people tend to adapt more, because I'll like my D, when nobody's around, if I just need something done, it's a 99. But when someone's around me, I'm like, okay, don't be an asshole. And I'm like, it was like a 64 or something like that. So I'm really good at adapting it.
We're naturally probably really introverted, but for business, we've got to get up and start using it.
Yeah, and like she's really good with someone like the engineers would be like, hey, I've made a spreadsheet. We're going to see these properties based on my spreadsheet. And I'm like, get that shit out of here. I'm not looking at that. Amanda, you need to take these clients right now. And she's like, oh my goodness, a spreadsheet. I can't wait.
I was going to make one. And you made
can I add? I'm going to color coordinate for you. I'm going to put this value in here and blah, blah. And I'm just like, have fun with that client. And it's not good or bad. It's just people attract a different type of person. So that's why it's good to just test everyone, really. Yeah. I have a free, well, it's not free for you, but on my YSR, if anybody's interested in their DISC analysis, just to see what type of client, or whether they're probably just adaptively good at buyers or sellers or whatever, I can send it to you.
Very interesting. You can use it on your kids. You can use it on anybody. Just any kind of negotiations. It's super helpful. I do want to say, like, I have in one of my notes, like, how people are successful and how they raise their standards. And it's like, we're getting all these information from teams and KV core and technology and personality types. And I just want to say, like, take it away and actually use it. And what I found is I would always go, oh, I should do that. Oh, that's a good idea. And I went to the event and they said, what are your musts? Like, you have what you want, where you need to be, and what you need to do in this market to be where you want. What are your musts? Where you go, I have to do this. Like, imagine like gun to your head, if you don't make this much, you're not going to whatever. And so now I have to do this to be successful. I must do that. And by forcing yourself that mindset of I must rather than I should, it'll make you more successful. You look at some people, you're like, oh, they're lucky. No, they just have higher standards. They do the stuff that they don't want to do every single day because they have to do it. And so take some ideas and nuggets and then write down your must of what you have to go back home and implement.
It just reminds me in some of we want a meeting in eXpcon, right? We get to do the stuff that we do. We don't have to, so that's a very mindset that kind of shifted, right?
Yeah.
I get to get up every day and work toward my dream, right? Somebody like Nick, he couldn't even like get up by himself, right? So just seeing Nick, we're gonna talk about Nick's presentation a little bit, but just seeing him on the stage, it's gonna give us no excuse whatsoever. Right. Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
I always do that. I'm like, oh, I had a bad day. Oh, we had a rough weekend.
Look at him, right?
He's like, you can have a bad 5 minutes and then get over yourself. Like, there's no reason to make it a bad day. Yeah. Like, I love that mindset.
I'm gonna spin off a little bit, since we talking a lot of stuff related to a husband and wife team, so especially Khai, I know you are running a mega team with Ping as well. So tell us, so tell us, how do you, balance between, work and life between you and your significant other?
Well, everything the wife says, right? And then, your name on the bank account is just for show. What's yours?
She's smart.
She's not here. Wait, who's recording?
Yeah, so kind of share with us, like how do you guys divide the work, divide content?
Yeah, I think
together. How you structure the business?
One thing, because I have been with eXp for almost 5 years, but my first 2 years, well, she didn't join the business until the 3rd year when I actually building the sales team. But I think for the longest time, I keep telling her, because she's a senior marketing manager for a home builder, and I told her, it's like, my business, I need more marketing as well. So it's like, you are a chef, I open a restaurant, but then you cook for someone else, right? But eventually she come on board and she help out, and I think she complete me in a way. We have very different personality. So she was able to enjoy the thing that I don't like, just like Jeff and Amanda, right? And that's what you need to figure out, is maybe that's how you attract each other in the first place. And then the second thing that we didn't know it at first, but what we learned to develop is adaptive schedule. And what that means is that being entrepreneur, we always be flexible and we always work overtime anyway. So our schedule is already different than the normal corporation schedule, 8 to 5. So, however, what we quickly learned is that, well, we got to spend time with the thing that matter to us. So, like, for example, time with the kids, and we have 2 young kids at home. So we need to allocate the time for them. And then quickly in 2019, we learned that we got to have time for each other, because over the time we say, hey, what's the point of building all of this? And we barely have time to have a date or do anything. So starting in beginning of 2019, we start having date night every week. And that's non-negotiable. And we put it on a calendar. So we block out 3 hours on a certain day, and we always have that. And one thing that we both enjoy is food. So we randomly select new restaurant on Yep and just check out different restaurant every week. And we say, now we don't talk about anything else, just the 2 of us and all of that. Well, that quickly become a challenging task. After a month and a half in, we run out of things to talk to each other. And then we're like, okay, can we talk about the kid now? Okay, fine. And then so we talk about business, all that. But the moral of the story is that we block out 3 hours on that day together. Now it's become our Wednesday. So everyone knows that they're not going to schedule anything with me Wednesday evening from 6 to 9, because that's my date night with the wife.
All right. He just put it out there, guys. Don't call him Wednesday night.
Yeah. And then we quickly realized that we don't need a weekend fun, right? Wednesday night is our weekend kind of thing, because we're entrepreneur. The regular 7-day work week doesn't apply to us.
Right.
So as long as you have a time a week for that, that's good. And it doesn't have to be a regular day. But I think that is one of the, we have to figure out the system in the business as well. But I think when you take care of your emotional life, your personal life, it helps you with your business.
Right. Jeff, Amanda, not only like you have a successful business, you have one of the best marriage, I would say. So
really,
You're
Let
about
me
to
tell you what.
you're about to have another husband and wife team coming. I'm gonna announce it very soon. So any tip and trick that you can share with us?
Find a hobby.
Yeah, it's
No.
funny. I would say marry someone with a real job, and we'll marry realtor.
No, I mean, I get out, I try to spend some time to myself. I mean, it is, I mean, get like you saying, it gets rough every now and then because you wake up, you get your kids ready, you take them to school, you're both at the house, we work at the office, we go to breakfast, lunch, and dinner together, we go to these events together, blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't even matter if that was Amanda. If it's anybody,
Kai's like,
You're
you want to
gonna
sit
be-
by each other? We're like, no, we're good.
yeah, we just spend a lot of time together. So I try to get out and do stuff. She does too. She has girls of dinner club and ladies of real estate.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, some people in here. Yeah. But like the other day I was on the couch and she literally was like, "Why are you breathing so hard?" And I was like, "So I can live." I don't know what to do. So like it's just and it's like frustrated me to frustrate her. And I was like, "All right, I'm gonna go golf tomorrow." Like so.
I do get tips though. Like
But yeah,
all the cute new married people who are working together, they're in the car together, they're showing houses together, they're writing their offers together. They're getting like half the amount of business done that you can get done. So really try. And it's hard. Or if you're both on the same emails, you think he did it and he thinks you did it, and then when you did it, you did it wrong because he does it a different way. Have a together business with separate clients. Have some kind of separation to where maybe you share an assistant, but you have two completely different businesses where you bounce off of each other, but you're not just like, otherwise you might as well just be one person. So drive your own car, go to your own shop.
That's what we got to do this year.
Yeah. It's really cute for Facebook, but after a while you're like, you could be selling so many more houses that you just
Well, I'm gonna need a lot of advice from you, you guys, because you know, well,
Whoa! Yeah.
Automation. Yeah, she passed her test yesterday.
Passed her test yesterday.
Yesterday, yeah.
Wow.
So you're gonna have another husband and wife team.
Wow. Congrats.
I think
newest realtor in the room.
newest realtor in the room. I think she's still looking for a sponsor. All right. Well, so yeah, back to the conference, right? So let's share some of the nuggets from the conference. 2017, 2018, you know, I see everybody that go to the conference, they just learn and grow so much, right? Because it's just like you literally like compact time frame over there, right? So let's start with let's see. Actually, I'm gonna start with somebody from the audience. So Christina, where's Christina? Yeah, Christina, you know, thank you for taking all the picture. Well, what is one of the nuggets that you can share with everybody here that you're gonna be like, hey, you know, Jenny, you know, hey, you know, Jamie, this is a must-have for you. You know, what would that be?
I think my biggest takeaway is inspiration.
Okay.
Just being it by you.
Thank you.
Tell us what all of us need.
Well, thank you for being in the room and you know go to the conference with us. You know, for last week that was amazing, and thank you for you know stepping up and booking all the tickets for fun, right? Yeah. Yeah, because of her, we get to go see the magic show. You know, she basically helped us plan the entire trip. So thank you so much,
Katie
Christina,
Perry?
for your leadership. Yeah.
Katie Perry?
Great song.
Wasn't Cam, was it?
Yo, what is the one thing that you learned last week? Tell us, share with us.
Hi everyone, I'm Boone. I would say my biggest takeaway is really digging deep and finding the ultimate why that you're in existence in this business. Because it's way beyond just making money, right? Because this business, there's plenty of money, but money can only take you so far. And at the end of the day, or in the morning when you wake up, what is really driving you to really go out there and to be the best you can with the support and the guidance of all the leaders we have here. So that was my biggest takeaway, is digging deep and finding the why.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
Jay Shetty wrote that book, Living Like a Monk, and he talks about how your life has a purpose. Like they believe that your life has a purpose. And so every time you don't want to do something, if you know that it's in line with your purpose, you're supposed to do it anyway. Otherwise, you're just living for no reason. So I love that.
Yeah. And I'm gonna start with my takeaway. Unlike everybody, well, like instead of like go look for the next like shiny way of generating lead, right? I really enjoy anything that Gene Fabric like put together. So if you see his presentation, it's just all about communication is not about what you say, right, but how you listen. And that just really hit home for me, right? I think that is the number one skill that most real estate agent, most salesperson we need, right? We always worry about what we're gonna say, but we never really pay attention to how we should listen. So all of us here, we are actually under Gene Frederick organization. So you should definitely go to his website, plug to his training. I just found out that everything that coming from Gene, is very authentic, very raw, down to a fundamental level. That if you can just get that one thing right, the rest of everything you do, I don't care what you do, social media, Facebook, YouTube. If you can just get the fundamental right, everything else will fall into places, right? Yeah. So it's about listening, really care about the other people, the buyer, the seller, the agent. What are they struggling with, right? What can you help them with? Not even to think about rep share or anything, right? Just try to help that agent with their business authentically, right? Without expecting anything back, right? And then the money will come later. Yeah. So Amanda.
I love that.
Yeah.
So John Cheplack talked about that, about being authentic, and he said create the experience of how it would be to work with someone before they actually sign up and start to work with you. That can be for recruiting or even for producing. And he was so funny. He was making fun of realtors. He's like, you guys are still going, oh, it's not a big deal about the interest rate. And don't forget to clean your gutters. And here's how you service your AC. And he's like, how many consumers wake up in the morning and wonder, about like the stuff that we send them, right? And so he's like, when you guys start to do your drip campaigns and your emails, send like top 10 parks in Houston and cool free things to do with your kids and spooky Halloween things. And he said, I surveyed my audience and like 90% of them had dogs. And so now I'm doing stuff about cool places to take your dogs. And he's like, the response rate is so different because he's being authentic. So I love that.
Yep. What is your takeaway, Khai?
I think there's so many new things that I learned from the business, but I think one of the common themes that I have heard last week is it's not what you know, it's who you know. And I think I was so glad with my decision to win last week despite with everything going on, because it reaffirmed me the belief that I'm with a future forward thinking company. Instead for thinking about, with all these difficult things happening in the marketplace. Well, no, we keep innovating, we keep having new things. And all the top leadership announced all the great programs that opening up last week, right? About health, about luxury, about all the tool and app and all the technology that coming out available for all of us. And that's amazing, right? And then
since you mentioned that,
yeah,
since you mentioned that EXP luxury. Well, but yeah, keep going. But yeah.
Yeah, and then I think one thing that I also see from Nick, right, the keynote speaker, he doesn't plan his circumstance. He always say that, hey, good thing happen, great, bad thing happen, okay. What is the one question you should ask yourself when bad thing happen is, what is the one good thing I can get out of this bad experience? Because every bad time, every time you look at a cup, it's always half empty and half full. But if you look at it differently, all of a sudden all the positive things gonna happen out of it. And that's what I want to learn, because it's not easy in this real estate business to deal with buyer, seller, and then managing the team and everything. But now with that, I just reaffirm me, but believe that, hey, every time I just need to ask for help. And the collaboration in here is just out of the roof, and I know that if I come across certain things, I should definitely reach out. Doesn't matter how well I'm doing. There's always something else I can learn better.
His question, I wrote it down because it was so important. He was talking about something that happened with his family, and he said, all I could ask myself was, who am I going to become because I'm going through this?
Right.
Why do I get to go through this? And then his question was, what is the gift? Like, and Amy's actually going to teach a class on the gift of this shift, but I love that, like, find something positive out of it.
Yeah. And then Jeff, not only you get on stage and teach everybody. We can talk about your master listening class at eXpcon a little bit.
Yeah.
But I see you, like every single breakout session, you actually sit in the front taking note like crazy.
Yeah, I got to sit in the front. If I'm in the back like Cam, I'll just I'll be on a game or something. See, look at it. So yeah, exactly. So when I go to those conferences, I mean, I'm going away from my kids. I'm traveling. I'm spending a lot of money. Like I want to get something out of it. So I always sit in the front. I didn't bring my notes with me. They all have notes. The things that hit me are kind of the same. Like Khai, it was a very uplifting meeting. Everyone was so like good-hearted and uplifting. One of the things that I don't even know who said it. I did write it down. It was your personality is your reality. And I was like, wow, I really like that. Your personality is reality. And you gave an example, like there could be a humongous thunderstorm outside and one person's day is just ruined because it's raining. They're going to get their hair wet. Their shoes are going to get wet. It's going to be terrible. And the other person, he was saying, was like, oh my goodness, look what God has created. It's so beautiful out there. The plants are getting water, the grass. It's going to be such a great day. And it's the same circumstance, just one person's going to have such a bad day and the other person's personality towards it is their reality, their true reality. And it was just like, that was big for me. And I practiced that a lot because I've had a lot of bad stuff happen to me for a long time, right? Everyone has their tragedies and things like that. It's just like you say, what is God trying to teach me here? What can I learn from this kind of thing? So just like I said, that's why I go to those things, to just get, reset and rejuvenated and everything. So that was my biggest takeaway. But I did do that master class, but
yeah, we can talk about that a little bit about this thing. But Amanda, go ahead.
I have two things in my notes I wanted to share, and I
yeah.
something. So two things.
Oh, those are my notes.
Do you want to? Sharing is caring. So two things that Nick talked about. One was the law of exposure, and I love this. I was like, so relatable. We were just talking about private jets. It says, when someone is exposed to a greater way of living, new information, more money, more experiences, better ways to impact others, you can't be unexposed. We kind of talk about like EXP, once you see it, you can't unsee it, right? You can't see the same life. You can't see life the same. An example was, let's say it took everyone in this room on a private jet to Maui. Would you ever want to fly Spirit Airlines again? No, right? You've seen something good. You don't want to again. So it says if you're up for being open-minded to being exposed to things that can change your life, say yes.
Yeah.
Say yes.
Yes.
All right. Here. And then he talks about the law of energy, and I love this. It says, as we all know, energy it can't be created or destroyed. It can only be transferred, right? It changes forms in some ways. And he said, how many of you guys know like a really energetic being that's like always energetic and really positive? Show of hands, anybody? Really high. So high energy equals high level of opportunities, high level conversations, high income. A low person will not attract a high level opportunity. They won't have a high level conversation, and they won't be able to make the impact that other people are looking to make. So have high energy, have high net worth. And when he talks about it, he says, have you ever met someone who has a ton of money and they're kind of like pissy all the time? Feel free to point to him, anybody. And then have you ever been to like a third world country, like anywhere, or Mexico or somewhere, and you see this kid like kicking a can and he's the happiest thing you've ever seen? Who really is rich in that situation, right? Like perception is reality. And he talks about, money is a good thing because money lets you donate to places and gives you a bigger impact and things like that. But he's really like perception is true, and just having that positive mindset. And I think we kind of get in the ditches of, oh, we've got to do this, or oh, this is crazy ahead. So that was keep your energy high, and it's contagious.
That's awesome. Well, you have any more note or you good?
Last one.
Yeah.
Okay. I promise last one.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's reps. So reps equals confidence. I know a lot of people
like
are like, oh, I don't know how to do an open house, or I don't know how to work with the high-end luxury listing, or I don't know how to recruit someone. So training your brain, right? This is how your brain works. There's only 3 stages. It's thinking, doing, and being. An example that he gives is driving a car. Do you remember the first time you ever drove a car?
Yeah, I remember that example.
Super nervous. You're like overly thinking. You put your seatbelt on. You don't even turn on the radio. You're like all the things, right? Then you drive the car 6 times, 8 times, 10 times. We're old. We've probably driven the car 10,000 times now, right? Have you ever had a time where you've driven a car somewhere and like you don't even know where the time went? You didn't even pay attention that you were driving. You were just like in the zone. So at that point, you're thinking driving, you're doing driving, you're being driving. It's like automatic. And so it talks about how this applies to all levels of life: sales, marketing, recruiting, doing deals. You've got to get your reps in. Your anxiety and stress is coming from your lack of preparation. For you guys, what is your very skill that you need more reps on? Exercise that muscle so you can be certain and confident in it. So thinking, doing, and then being.
Oh,
So
that's
true.
amazing.
Yeah.
Well, so one of the biggest, announcement during the conference is EXP Luxury. So Khai, I know that you actually one of the first Asian that gets certified in luxury.
Wow.
So tell us more about EXP Luxury.
No, they're not certified.
How can we all, take advantage of
No,
that?
I think for the past few years, eXp have tried to head start a few different idea around the luxury arena. And so I was part of the last one that they pushed around, but I think there are many challenges come along the way, and it's very hard to define luxury, right? Because especially when eXp is one brokerage, all 50 states, well, now worldwide now. Yeah. So the luxury market in one area in Houston, for example, is different than New York or California. So that was the challenge. But finally, they come about and they want to push eXp Luxury to international brand now. And that's going to be an amazing platform that all of us may be able to benefit from. But they do say that they want to make sure that we understand as a real estate agent, as defined by even, for example, by track in the local market, everyone needs to be an expert in their own area. So they want to do this. So that way, if you just, for some reason, you get access to one luxury listing, for example, this is one play that you can tap into and partner with maybe a luxury agent within the company that can help you push and get it closed. Because if it's just a one-off deal, let's say, for example, all of a sudden you come across 100-acre of land, well, you need to seek someone who are expert in farm and ranch to do that because you don't know very familiar. So this is one idea when they come in together, they say, hey, it's one play that you can find the expert in this area.
Kind of like the commercial. You don't want to just get a commercial deal and just do it. You mess that up, it's a big deal.
Right.
So you just see it all coming together because they bought Showcase IDX for the international MLS. So a lot of other countries don't have an MLS. And could you imagine like having all these luxury listings all across and open to all those people?
Yeah, and this is gonna help everyone to get luxury listing as well. So if you're already doing luxury deals, or if you're anyone in the luxury market, you can tap into it right away, get qualified, get plugged into the program, and they actually provide coaching from all the different experts, and then also eXp luxury presentation that you can use. So you don't even have to come up with anything you want, you plug and play. And that will be very powerful. Now, for anyone out there that not yet doing, or maybe only do 1 or 2 luxury deals, and they want to be plugged in more and do more of it, they're gonna push out a new certification program, probably by December. They haven't announced exact date yet, but that's what I want to have in mind. Because right now, anyone who wants to be part of eXp Luxury, you have to be already in the luxury market. Mm-hmm. However, what if you are not yet, but you have connection or you have a drive, you want to be successful, then that certification program will be your entryway into the luxury market.
Yeah. There's so much to learn there.
Yeah, everyone can learn. And so, but that's what I think that, all these announcements I hear from convention are like, eXp pushing out all these tools and resources for us to be successful. It's up to us if we're gonna take advantage of it or not. Yeah. Right.
What's the threshold of what are they considering?
So as of right now, they say because it's so difficult from market to market, they're gonna use a standard $1 million. Wow. So if you have any listing that at least $1 million, doesn't matter if you're part of luxury or not, they will push it to that website that we just showed earlier. Okay. So that way your listing will get exposure internationally.
Cool.
So that's really cool.
That's good to know for listing appointments, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so a lot of more information is going to be on Workplace. So if you go to Workplace, if you don't have the app, you should download the app now on your iPhone, on your Android, and then just follow eXp Luxury. There's going to be a lot more update, related, to this particular announcement. And then the next announcement, I know Jeff is super excited about this, so I'm going to let Jeff share the new leadership production.
Yeah, I was always having a big group. I wanted to recognize people, and I was like, okay, I never know, like, I didn't even know people would cap, and it would be my fault, and like capping is a big deal. Much less they would icon, and they'd be like, oh, I'm a 3-time icon. I was like, holy crap, I didn't even know you've ever been an icon. And
you were so cool.
I started feeling bad, like, because I wanted to, 900 something people is a lot, but if you do some big things, they need to be recognized. So I would reaching out with Sydney, our expansion manager and agent. I said, can you reach out to the county and get some numbers for our group so we can have some like a party and celebrate these people? And she reached out and she's like, that's just not available right now. So I was like, so I kind of gave up on it. One time we did it, and I just reached out to each agent, and it was tough, and just relied if they told me the truth on how much they sold, and I did leaderboard. But anyway, EXP has created an agent production leaderboard, and it's based off of the transactions inside of their SkySloper transaction desk. So we'll be able to look and see the production of everyone based on their state, their city, their everything. Right now, there is no. Oh yeah, is there some team?
That's plenty. Yeah, I'm gonna highlight some.
Yeah, highlight some. But right now, there's no teams, or that's the next rollout. Instead of, because right now, they don't have anybody, like I'm not on there, Gabe's not on there, just because Gabe is a part of Cityside. So what they're going to do is they're going to be, when you'll be able to click on Cityside, and Cityside will have a drop down menu. Every agent on there will have that's how they're going to do with teams. But this is going to be really good for all kinds of reasons, really. But this is, I think it's been needed for a long time, so we can.
You can know who to refer your deals to, or for me, like for recruiting, if they're like, oh, we don't have anyone who sold houses in Ohio, or you don't have anyone cool in Dallas. Actually, have you seen these people?
Yeah, we can see what our team legacy production it's probably billions of dollars. And if you're a new agent and you say, oh, how many houses have you sold? You say, well, I just started real estate, but I've aligned myself with the company. We just sold a couple $1 billion last year. Call team. I mean, there's going to be a lot of advantages to this. So I think it's a big deal. But is there some team legacy agents?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So, speaking of that, agent number 33 in the United States. Hey.
Yeah, she's a badass. $25 million in real estate.
Jesus Christ.
That's a big deal. And then right after that, Sue-Ann, where's she at?
She's
in Dallas. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hey! Yeah, so this is going to be nice for us, and so you can go to your My EXP Realty app. I don't know if you've downloaded it yet, but they've made an app now.
You should download it.
And you can go to it, and then in there. No, they fixed it.
Did they?
Yeah.
But yeah, just the app, and then there's, I don't know if you've guys seen the app that looks kind of like this, tells you your capping and stuff, but there's like a little toolbox right there. You click that toolbox and go to production leaderboard, and it opens up the leaderboard. And you can, it's going to be great for me anyway. Hopefully yours as well, because it'd be good to hear for me, or if you have an agent in your downline and they did like $3 million, get a random phone call. Hey, congrats. You just surpassed $3 million this year. It's a big deal. They're going to be blown away. That's going to feel good. So I'm excited about this. Hey, Amy.
Hey, Amy. Yeah.
But we're just talking about the leaderboard. How right now it's all individuals, but they're going to put on teams. So it's team. Yeah. Yeah. So you're going to be able to, like the Lampman home team. I butchered that. Was that right? Okay, good. The Lampman home team, you'll be able to click on it, and you'll see the team leader, and then all the agents production, and then as a group. It's going to be really cool. But it's going to be really nice. I was telling them for like production and awards, and hopefully referrals.
You want to have coffee with someone? Talk to these people. Like, they're way cool.
Yeah. So.
And then another thing I think that's really cool about this is because they have been talking in the talk to make this for the last year or two, but it was very difficult to try to connect all the MLS together. But I think eXp is probably one of the few companies that can pull this off, or maybe the only one. Because any other company out there, they have the regional system, the franchise system. So there's no way where they have one standardized leaderboard. But eXp were able to pull it up.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Also shifting gear a little bit, I know, Jeff, you sell a lot of houses, but maybe what is not a lot of people know that, your revenue share organization is approaching 1,000 people, right?
Yes, it is.
So would you rather sell 700 homes, or would you rather have an organization of, let's say 10,000 people, next year?
Yeah, no, I'll rather show someone how to sell 700 homes, to be honest with you. It's kind of at that point now where I hate to say this because I'm in a room full of realtors. It's kind of mundane, to be honest with you. After 13 years of selling so many houses, like it's just the same thing. And I remember when I had an office, I'd have a big board, and I'd write all these check marks for every single closing. And then we go on to Christmas vacation and New Year's, and we get back. And unfortunately, I have to get the eraser and just erase everything. And a few years of doing that was just tough because after you erase it, my goodness, you're back to 1 again. So it's good to have additional streams of income with rev share, but that's kind of my focus probably the next year, next 12 months. Hard is just helping someone else sell houses. So
Yep. So we're getting to the final segment of the podcast here, and then after that, we're gonna break for the happy hour.
Yeah.
So let's just go back to the basic a little bit, right? Jeff and Amanda and Khai, what is revenue share? Like why should we focus some of our time, take away some of our production time to focus on, building our organization?
For me, it's for our kids. I grew up pretty rough, so to be able to give them something other than you can give them a real estate company, but they're gonna have to run it. But to be able to really give them something where they could, it can change their kids' lives and everything like that. I think that was the biggest thing. But doing something that you get paid on many times is, the first route I went was rental properties, right? But rental properties, you got to pour it into and pour into, and you get one check every single month, and then you got to find another one, and then that started doing it. Then I kind of got a little piece of rev share. It was like $800 1 month, and then it was $1,800, and I was like, whoa! It got 3,000. That was way more than all 5 of my rental properties. Okay, I need to start looking at this. So that's why I did it. Is generational wealth really, and just kind of gives you the freedom to do stuff like this, right?
Yeah. And I know Amanda, especially, you actually announced on our Team Legacy Facebook website that you actually shifting your intention toward helping the group. Right, so tell us how we can leverage you.
Yes, I want to have 2,000 agents by the end of next year. I just think we can do it. That's just everyone bringing on one business partner. I feel like, kind of like Fu said, have this purpose and a sense of self. And I really feel like we've gotten to see other people's lives change because of this company. When I first joined, I was like, it's not a life-changing company. They have E&O insurance, just like every other brokerage, right? I just had this mindset of that's what a company does. And now I'm like, oh my gosh, if I can do this, truly anyone can do it. So if you have anyone that's interested, we would love to sit down. We'd love to have those conversations. We'd love to help you. And what you'll find is after you have 2 or 3 of those conversations, it gets easier. After you have 5, it gets fun. It's been life-changing. So that's really my purpose, I feel like, is really helping other people build for their family, build for their future generations. And it's a blast.
Yeah. For me, I think that one thing that is just struck my mind, because the first 2 years I did not focus on revenue share. But I remember probably about 3 years ago when I got my first luxury listing, I remember how hard I tried, how hard I prepared for it, and I got it, and that's cool. And everyone know what is the paycheck for $1 million house, right? Commission wise. But by building and plug in the revenue share system, I have a way to just have myself 1, 2, or 3 $1 million listing every year, and it comes with residual, right? And that's much more powerful because if we can spend the same time doing the same thing, but net more and repeatedly having the same thing, that's awesome. And that's why I plug in. And then I know that not only that, if the day that I do pass away, I do able to pass it on to the kid as well. But $1 million listing, I cannot pass to the kid. I cannot do it, right? So that's awesome.
Yep. I lost my train of thought here in a little bit. Okay. I want to show everybody a little bit. Remember we the Zoom today. We kind of go kind of leverage the influence that Amanda and Jeff and then you have over here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So in the same way, I want everybody here, to be able to leverage, Jeff, Amanda, myself, right? So one of the things I have been building, I don't know if any of y'all saw this, is actually my new website is actually ready now.
No.
Yeah. You move it over here. Yeah. So when you go to the cash flow notepad, you're gonna see a lot of information, related to EXP, especially revenue share, yada yada yada. It's just it's just a way for you to leverage it, right? So let's say, for example, when you click on the blog, you're gonna see a lot of information pertaining to, let's say EXP to revenue share, right? So everything that we discussed about, I break it down in a really detailed. What is revenue share? What does the map look like? What is a duplication? There's a lot of information that you can kind of leverage the website to set up the appointment, if you will. So, there's going to be a lot more coming, Jeff and Amanda. So that way, we can kind of, get our influence out, to the world.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You look like a little celebrity. Thank you.
So Lee, are you saying that if I meet with a potential agent, I can pull this up and show them a quick snapshot and then set up a time with you live?
Yeah, that's it. That's
awesome.
it. Thank you.
Okay.
That's exactly what I'm trying to say. Thank you. Yeah. But yeah, so let's wrap it up. Let's do it really quick. What is the must-have skill for building, a big organization? What is the one skill for you, Jeff? What is the skill that you must have?
Don't be scared to call like the big producers. Like, don't be, because what happens if you don't call? It's a no. What happens if you call them and they tell you no? It's a no, right? So, but what happens if you call them and they say, yeah, I'll sit down and talk with you, that kind of thing. So it's not a regret because I learned that this person wouldn't be a good fit for Team Legacy, but we missed one of the biggest teams in Texas joining EXP, and he was a buddy of mine. We golfed all the time, and after he joined, he's like, why didn't you call me and tell me about this so long ago? You lost so much money, and so did I. And I was, man, I never thought you would even talk about that, to be honest with you. And then that's the first time when I was like, okay, whatever. So I just went to the HBJ's top like 10 agents, and I'm calling all the time. Like, so that's a good skill. I mean, it's maybe a learned skill, but don't be afraid to get told no over the phone is my thing. Especially as you're talking about building rep share, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think those teams and brokerages and the big producers need that leverage more than anyone. Like they really do. We're tired. We're working a lot. We need something fun to look forward to. So I think, and don't be scared. I think I got into my own head. I was like, oh, that's for those people. And these types of people make that kind of money. And I just had all these like reasons why an introvert couldn't go out and take over the world. And then when I realized that you're not doing it by yourself, you've got all these people in this room to kind of help you. And they all come from different backgrounds and different stories. So get uncomfortable to grow. I think nothing changes, right? So for me, it's doing it for my family. I have a little note that says, what you do with this opportunity will change generations to come. And then it's like, well, no pressure. If you don't do it, you're failing your kids, right? So now I have to get up and do it.
What is the one skill for you?
Actually, I have two. One thing I did learn last week.
Why I pulled this up?
So the first thing that I think that helped me is because I'm a big person talking about schedule and time block. And I think that one thing that it can get carried away if you don't time block for revenue share, then you're not gonna get to do it. So that's one thing. If you already time block to talk to seller, buyer, and your sphere of influence, then you better time block to talk to agent as well. And then another thing that I learned that's very helpful, resonate with me from last week is people say that you should attract the people that you like. Yeah. And I think that, revenue share is one big collaboration platform. And that's awesome. So why not talk more to the people that you like to work with? And I think that we meet agents along the way all the time. Or we go to event, we meet someone, we hit it up. Well, would it be cool if we can partner with that one for foreseeable future as well? And
that was one of the first things I did is my coach, Sean, was like, just write down 10 people who would be really cool for you to work with. Write it down. Like, blah, blah, blah. Okay, next step, let's call those people. I was like, okay, yeah. So, and that would be cool. You got to surround yourself. Now we're like surrounded by Khai and Huy and Amy and all these cool people. Like we actually like them.
I took him on a sushi date. It was my first recruit ever, and I was like stuttering in the presentation. Like I practiced it with him the night before. I said all the wrong things. I was like a nervous wreck, but thankfully I did it right. And what did you say at the end of it that I loved?
I just joined.
Yeah, he joined, and I was like, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" And he goes, "You can't say the wrong thing to the right person."
Yeah.
He was looking for it.
I was looking for the model, right? And Amanda just happened to be the person who explained it to me. Yeah. It doesn't matter how bad, how good it is. I'm looking for that, right? Yeah. And she's the one who brings me the opportunity, right? So she get all the fruit. Look at it.
The rest is history.
Yeah. But yeah, talking about skill, one of the most skill that I want to tell everybody here is duplication, right? This thing, is actually very mundane, if you will. It's very common sense. So don't try to invent anything new. The stuff that that work, is how to say it. We're gonna keep on rip off and duplicate it, right? And the best way to do that is to learn from the expert. So next, skip not next Tuesday. But Tuesday, November 1st, I'm going to start a series of 6 weeks, and John Sai is going to kick us off, with his system to building his revenue share organization, of 800 people. And if y'all haven't seen John Sai, y'all are missing a show. That is amazing. I mean, he's the most amazing human being I can find. His energy is off the chart. So mark your calendar, go to eXpcon.eventbrite.com. Register. It's going to be a series of 6 weeks. We're going to show you step by step on what me, Jeff, Amanda, Khai, what we do step by step, just by little every day, to build a big, revenue share organization, right? And you're gonna be surprised. There's no rocket science into it. It's just some very simple step that we do every day. Yeah. Any future event that you want to discuss, Jeff? Maybe Cabo. I know that you.
Amy has one.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
We're all invited December 7th. It's going to be the panel part 2. So the first one is called Shift Happens.
Yeah.
If you have any open okay?
Sure. All right, in.
Basically coaching the shift market. And now this next one is called the gift of the shift. Because basically what happens, if you're here, if you don't get scared during a shift, you actually challenge yourself to find new solutions. And you partner up with people, whether it's vendors, each other, you go to retreat when you don't have time, you make time. You overcome things, and basically all the things that you've learned in the past like 90 days. What are those? They're gifts, right? Because we're assimilating more knowledge. So December 7th, mark the calendars. Cindy's working on our lovely invitation right now. We have a whole team going, but Santa will be there.
Oh.
Yes, and it's from 10 to 12. So
Wow, that's cool.
And again, I cannot stress the importance of going to event, right? We use event to grow, and we use event, to really fast track your business. So speaking of event, we have a great time in Cabo, and I believe you're going to be here next year as well.
Oh yeah, it's like my favorite. All the events are great, but every year I go to Cabo, it's like my most impactful one. So Cabo23.com, it's awesome. I think some of the rooms are sold out, but the neighboring hotels are still open. It's awesome. So check it out. For me, it's the most impactful event that we've ever been
Yeah,
to.
if there's one event that really, pivot my business into like a different direction, that would be Cabo, right? So definitely go there. The vibe is so amazing. The food is amazing. The people is amazing as well.
And they're just like regular people who've done amazing things. I think that was my biggest aha.
Exactly.
People would tell their stories of how they're making all this money and they're impacting all these people, and it's like regular lady and a regular guy, and they have regular lives and they wear regular clothes. I was like, these people can do it. Oh my gosh, like all of us can do it. So Cabo23.com.
All right, so let's wrap it up. Jeff, Amanda, Khai, any final note you want to share with the audience before we head to the happy hour?
I would say that if you already with eXp, you already make the first step to a very, very great rewarding opportunity. So make sure you take advantage of all the tools and resources that eXp have. And all of that can be 99% accessible on Workplace. Or the announcement, anything that you can think of. Like for example, if you don't know this already, eXp have been working on several certification programs, and they finally come together. They announced last week that it's gonna be a whole new name, the Affinity Department. I think the new name is Renovos or something, a fancy name. But basically, what it's about is eXp want to find a platform that can give lead back to all of us agents. But depending on what track you are on, you need to be certified for it, right? The relocation program, because so many people are still moving across the country, they want to partner up with those leads. And the IEO, right, foreclosure coming up, make sure you're certified and get a tag for it. Express offer, making it rent, all these platforms. And the newest one, I think they're going to launch either next month or December, is military family.
Yeah.
Imagine you're working with a VA client and you actually have something offered from our brokerage for them to be working with you. That's amazing. So make sure you don't miss out on those because it's created for you. You are part owner of the company.
Yeah, eXp referral revision. I just put it up there.
Oh. No, not that. Oh, that also really cool, guys. I don't know. Anyone know what it is?
Nope, tell us.
No. Okay, it's not about referral. It's about if you have a brand new agent that not yet ready to kick it up with production, or if you have someone who has been with XP for a while, but they want to take a break because of family, whatever reason, they can switch their license to referral division and just referral only. And they have reduced fees. They don't have to be part of MLS. They don't have to pay for HAR.
Wow,
it's awesome. They just launched it.
That's more
this week. Yes. So basically, you still with eXp.
How do you know all this stuff?
I did not know. Good job, guys.
I brought time to eXp.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Yeah,
I just had an agent give up their license because to be honest, they didn't want to pay the MLS fees again coming up. They didn't. They didn't really use it. So this is cool.
Go on workplace.
Workplace.
Go to workplace.
Workplace. First thing you open up a workplace is going to be there. Yeah.
So for all of you who are writing down your must-dos, add that to your must-dos. That, the REO division, the affinity things that you were talking about. Walk away from something having like next steps to practice and implement this weekend.
All right. Amanda, any last word?
Well, I'm excited for the happy.
Okay, well, guys, thank you so much for your time. Again, you could do a million things, you know, but you choose to be here with us. So, yeah, thank you for your time. And, you know, me, Amanda, Khai, Jeff, you know, we're here to support your business, right? So anything you need, you know, leverage us, you know, pull us in, blow up my phone, you know, let's grow together, right?
All right.
Party time!
The powder keg is right. We can walk there. It's right out these doors.